Well, I'm out today fishing at anchor, just dropped the anchor, and at the moment I'm in 93 feet of water, but that will get to over 100 feet later. We're in the flood tide, about an hour into the flooding tide, and I'm going to fish the down up to high water and then probably a few hours of the ebb tide. Now I'm on a multi-species trip today, so no particular target species. I know what I might catch here, so using lots of mixed methods, basically just to catch what's out here. So I've got two rods set up, two light boat rods set up with a running ledger, and going to fish two different baits and lower those down and fish those on the bottom and see, maybe we'll pick up, might be whiting, there'll be dogfish, maybe bullhuss, maybe Thornback Rays, and the outside chance of a codlin at this time of year. So I've got mackerel strip on one rod, and then on the other rod I've got some sand eel, a strip of sand eel, strip of launce. So that's the baits I've got with me, mackerel and launce and some sand eels. But then, as it's this time of year, there might be a few squid around. So I'm going to lower a couple of squid jigs down and just leave that in the rod holder. Fish it about 10-20 feet off the bottom, leave that to work itself just in case any squid pass through. And then I've got another rod, lure rod with a jig and some sabikis, and the idea is to monitor the fish finder and see what passes under and take advantage of that. For example, there's a shoal there that might be, it could be herring, there might be mackerel, there might be some scad showing down the bottom, or there could be some gurnard down the bottom. So mixed methods for a multi-species trip, and basically just catch what I can and just see what's out here. I've got braid on both rods because of the depth of the water. Although it's not a strong tide today, it's only a neap tide, but I've got braid, and that's obviously going to help cut the tide and means that I can cut down on the weight of lead that I use rather than having to have really heavy leads. At the moment I've got 4 ounces, and I shouldn't with this tide need to go heavier than that. Alright, that's one rod down the bottom. There's a few fish showing now down the bottom. Now to get the squid jigs down. Now this is just on the off chance that there might be a few squid around, and it's quite interesting actually how you can with certain lures, you can just lower it down and pop them in the rod holder, and they will work themselves just by the tide, the current, and by the up and down movement of the kayak. They won't just sit still. They won't actually just sit still in the tide. There will be some up and down movement. Now I often do this if I'm fishing different rods. I just pop a rod in the rod holder with squid jigs or maybe some sabikis, a spare rod, pop it out there and just leave it, and you can often catch that way. So you don't always have to, obviously ideally if I was just targeting squid I would actually manually work them myself, but I would also have another rod working left in the rod holder working itself. Well, how about that? There's me got a couple of squid jigs out, and I've got a squid on the bait. Well, actually I'm really pleased about that, because it tells me, and I've got to get this in without it coming off. I'm really pleased about that because I'm rather partial to squid, and therefore it shows me that there's squid around. So I might pay a bit more attention to the squid jigs. And right, I've got a bite on the other rod, so just got to deal with that. Yeah, we got something on the other rod as well that feels a decent size. Yep, we got, this might be a ray. Oh, come on, up you come. It's right, I've moved it, I'm moving it now. I suspect that this is a ray. Coming now. Yeah, it's a little Thornback Ray. Nice little Thornback Ray, which I believe hasn't got the claspers. I believe this is a female, and it's going to go back. But yeah, it's amazing the fight that they give, because they've got the wings, which of course they can use against the tide. Sometimes these thornbacks, they can feel, particularly hauling them up from the depth that I'm fishing today, they can feel a lot bigger than they are. Right, so we get this back. Yeah, that's turned now and swam away. And then of course we've got our squid. And that was a surprise on catching it on bait and actually managing to keep a hook hold on it. So there's definitely squid around. Yeah, looks like we got something here. Not a ray this time. It is a dogfish, which of course is something you nearly always catch, but it doesn't matter. It's a fish, and in actual fact, I'm partial to eating dogfish. Of course, when I was a kid, rock and chips was a favourite on the menu. Got the other rod going now. Now this feels like another ray. Yeah, it is. Ray or bullhuss. There it comes. Yep, another ray. Another little thornback. Oh, not ready yet. Another lovely little thornback, and for those of you that have never caught them before, the way you hold them is this little area here. They've got this little soft spot just there to the left of the eye, and you can grab them there because they're called thornback because they've got these absolutely lethal thorns, spines. Right, get that back. And away it goes. And that's the dogfish. One of the baits I'm using today is this Lawns. Absolutely fantastic bait for a variety of species. Now I catch these myself. I either catch them on the sabikis when I'm out on the kayak, or I catch them by accident when I'm, let's say, spinning for mackerel from the shore. And then occasionally you'll pull in a few of these, and it's really handy for bait for later on. So what I do is I get them home and I wrap them individually in cling film and then pop them in the freezer and bring them out on occasions like this, and absolutely superb bait. And because they're quite large, they're quite easy to fillet. You can either put a whole fillet on, or like I'm doing today, I'm having a couple of fillets from each side. Brilliant bait. Well, I wondered when some mackerel were going to turn up, and it looks like we've got some. Feels like another ray. It is, yep, another thornback. Well, it went completely dead with the bait rods after that initial bit of action catching those few thornbacks and dogfish. Completely dead, so not even a bite. There doesn't appear to be any whiting around yet. They'll probably arrive in a few weeks' time. So I decided to pull the bait rods in and just focus on the lure fishing for a while. Just managed to jig up a couple of little undersized gurnard, which of course went back. So that added to the species. Still got the squid rod out on my right hand side, and I've picked up something now. But I think I'm just going to focus on the lure fishing now. I might, I'm not sure yet. I might up anchor in a moment and drift. See what we can pick up on the drift with the lure rod, with the speakers and the jig, and see if I can pick up another squid with the squid jigs. I've got something here which is not very big, but Who knows what it might be? I suspect it might be another gurnard. Yeah, it is a little gurnard. There seems to be quite a few small gurnard down there, but it would be nice to get a keeper, because I personally I love gurnard. I think they're absolutely fantastic to eat. Right, so I'm going to up anchor now and paddle up tide a bit, and then fish on the drift and just see if cover a bit more ground, and then see what I can pick up. Right, so I've paddled a fair way up tide. Now I'll get the drift chute out, and hopefully we'll have a nice slow drift and see what I can pick up. I'm particularly keen to see if I can pick up another squid, but I'll also put the lure rod out with the sabikis, and probably leave that to fish itself, and while I work the squid jigs. That's it. The drift chute, as I've mentioned many times, has turned me now beautifully into the swell here, rather than drifting broadside on. One that it's uncomfortable to drift broadside on, and the other, of course, you'll drift a lot quicker if you're broadside than if you've got your bow into the breeze here. Right, that's one rod. And now the squid jigs. Well, I'm really keen to catch another squid before the end of the session. So what I've done, I've taken the sabikis off. I've got more than enough mackerel now, so I don't really want any more mackerel. Taken the sabikis off, and I've put some more squid jigs on. So I've got squid jigs on the other rod on the right hand side, and squid jigs on this rod, and just hopefully I can pick up another squid. And I'm really pleased to say I've got a squid on. Yep. Just got to ease it up. May not be everyone's cup of tea, but I absolutely love to do it a few times a year. It just makes a change. Apart from the fact that they're fantastic to eat. So I am very pleased. It's a bit hit and miss, the squid fishing, particularly, of course, I'm doing it during the day, and it would be, oh yeah, this seems like a decent sized squid. Yeah, this is a good squid, or reasonable squid. Obviously it's better at night with a bit of light shining on the water, but so not so easy to get them during the day. But I'm fishing in deep water here, so therefore I've got, it's not going to be too bright down there. Whee, come on. Yeah, it's quite a nice squid. Oh my gosh. Gotcha. Yeah, beauty. How about that? Absolutely lovely. If any of you are interested in squid fishing, what I found with colours, and this is just what I've personally found, I'm not suggesting that it is a fact, but I found there's 3 colours that seem to outfish other colours when you go squid fishing. And the first one is pink. I always seem to do okay with pink. The next one is green, do okay with that, and the next one is orange. Now other colours I've tried blue, I've got white ones on this left-hand rod, and I keep trying with them, and they're luminous as well. And I am yet to catch a squid on a white squid jig. Pink is the one I seem to do best, and then green next, and then followed by orange. But might not be anything in it at all, but it's just for those of you that maybe are thinking about having a go at some squid fishing. Right, I'm just going to have one last drift just to see if I can pick up some more squid, and then to finish the session I might go a bit closer to shore and see if I can pick up a bass. But just have one more go for the squid. Right, got another squid on, and again it seems like a decent one. Yep, I think it is. With squid, you've just got to ease them up. You mustn't be too hard on them, because remember, there's no hooks involved. They're only impaled on the spikes of the squid jig. So you just got to ease them up. Yeah, it's a nice squid. Well, it feels like a nice squid. It's a beauty. Absolute beauty. Well, I'm going to head on in now, but I'm going to finish up the session by trolling a plug. I'm going to troll a plug all the way back in, just to see if I can finish up with a bass. So I've paddled in much closer to shore now, in much shallower water, and I'm not too hopeful with this tide, very small tide, that I'll get one, but you never know your luck. Well, no bass, I'm afraid. I only had about 15-20 minutes trolling a plug on my way back in, just to see if I could pick one up, but no luck. But even so, mixing up the methods like that, a bit of bait fishing on the bottom combined with a bit of lure fishing, fishing, a bit of fishing at anchor and a bit of drift fishing can be a highly productive way of catching fish and spending your days fishing. And as you've seen there, it can catch several different species. And it's something I like to do a few times a year rather than just going out and targeting one species for the whole day. And so I've had a huge amount of fun, caught a few different species, and got to get on in now and sort some of the fish out that I've taken home for the table. So once again, I hope you found that useful, and many thanks for watching.